On the previous episode of Scale Garage, we finished the engine, the RB26, we finished the chassis, and in today's video, we're going to wrap up this build. To wrap this build up, I decided I wanted to try to do something that I've never done before. LED lights on a model kit. This lighting kit is a LED kit from Evan Designs, not sponsored, but there is a link in the description. Inside this kit, you get a coin cell holder, which holds the battery, which also has a positive and negative wire. You also get a switch, which has a positive and negative wire as well, 2 shrink tubes to basically tie in the LEDs, and 4 LEDs. After placing the battery inside of the coin cell holder and connecting the negative to the negative and the positive wires to the positive wires, you can see the LEDs work. And after connecting all 4, this is the final product. I decided the best location for the switch to activate the lights was at the rear of the chassis behind the gas tank. I took out the Dremel and carefully drilled out a hole, and then using some glue, glued the switch to the chassis. I put some masking tape around the coin cell holder just to prevent glue from actually getting on the battery, just in case that could possibly corrode it. Then I glued it next to the switch and used some zip ties to hold all the extra wire that I won't be using. With setting up the lights out of the way, before we could test it, there's some more details that need to be completed, starting with the taillights. I really like a dark clear tail light instead of the red tail light housing for how it typically should be for the R32, so I took out some Tamiya black, put it on a toothpick, and started blacking out the light housings. Following that, I tinted the tail light lens using some Tamiya smoke, then threw it on the car. Similarly, like the tail lights, the front headlight housing needed to be painted as well, so I took out some Tamiya tape, masked it off, and then using some Tamiya silver, I put it in the airbrush and then sprayed it. Next up, the rear view window needs to be placed on the interior of the body, so using some super glue, I applied that using a toothpick, then I threw on the windows. With that out of the way, I could throw on the black mesh that goes in between the grille, and then I can throw on the interior, which I did have to modify just to get to fit a little bit, and then I could throw on the chassis. In order to get the LEDs to match up with the actual lights, it took around 2 hours of trial and error of gluing the LEDs to the body just to get it to match up properly. In hindsight, it would be a lot better to glue the LEDs to the body and then connect it to the switch, but you live, you learn. With that out of the way, I can move over to finishing the front headlights by first installing the bulb. And then after that, I can move over to doing the headlight lens. With that, headlights have a black trim around it. It's a rubber trim on a real car. And to simulate this, I took out a black Sharpie and just traced around the edges. The side markers also need to be installed as well, and I took out an orange Sharpie, painted those orange, and then glued it onto the body. And just like that, the front headlights are complete. And with the second switch that I placed on the chassis, bam, the lights turn on. Next up, we can move over to doing the wheels. The wheels for this build are some Work Rizas Mark II. They're 19-inch wheels, which can be found on eternityhobbysupply.com. There will be a link in the description. Fortunately, these wheels also come with tires, so let's just detail them and then throw them on the car. With the wheels being installed on the body, only a few details remain, such as the mirrors, windshield wipers, license plate, master cylinder, and a bunch of decals. And last but not least, some side splitters I made out of some styrene can be thrown onto the body to wrap this build up. Thanks for watching. Deuces.